Yeah. Guys, please tell me. You should speak non-stoply if you are working as a Salesforce administrator or a developer. Always you should connect with the team, and every time you should collect the requirement in proper way. So while collecting requirements from the technical architect or a business analyst, so you should clear on your stuff, because of if you don't have the proper idea about the requirement, you can't implement any process, right? Try to start speaking within the sessions. So slowly you will overcome this, what we call state, or we call it as. Yeah, anyway, it's your choice. If you speak on the call, slowly you'll get the.
Sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes,
sir. Sir, actually, why we are actually using the Apex programming?
Why?
Why we are actually using the Apex programming as the Lightning application providers of built-in applications and object creation. Though, what is the necessity of actual Apex programming?
Yeah, Lightning can provide only user interface related functionality. Okay, if you have any business logic, so you should implement within the Apex only. As I said, Salesforce data is stored under the objects only, right?
Yeah.
If you want to access the object data, you should write the Apex class. Over there, you should write some SQL query. The SQL query will return the data. So without having the Apex class and SQL query, you can't connect with your Lightning component. So without having the Apex, Lightning is nothing.
So there is every each project there is a requirement of Apex using.
Yeah, anywhere
we have to use.
We must use Apex.
Apex.
So pure Lightning is not possible, but pure Apex is possible. Without having Lightning also, we can work with the existed functionality. Okay. Yeah. Before there is no Lightning. Recently, Salesforce provided Lightning concept, right?
Yeah.
Without Lightning also, we can utilize the Salesforce application. But without Apex, we can't implement Lightning component.
Sir?
Yeah.
When we should use declarative development apart from this Apex? Why? It means exact difference. Where we should use declarative, where we should use, we have to go for programming.
So it's purely depending on the requirement. If it is possible to implement declarative part, like without using code, so we must depend on the declarative, like you can write process builder, you can write workflow, you can write an email alert, whatever it is. So if it is not possible through declarative, then only we should go with the programming part. So any client, because of in Apex, there are some limitation. Like there is some limitation on Apex. Do you have any idea?
No, means exactly I'm asking where, yeah, how we had to know, how we had to know where we had to use declarative and where we had to write the program.
Yeah, let's say for example, you want to update account record. Okay, if you want to update account record in any particular condition, like let's say for example, let me open the record. So this is the detail page, right? So if I update a phone number value here, okay, so the account is parent for the contact, correct? So account is the parent of the contact object. So now I am updating the parent record, parent object, I mean account object record, the phone number value. So if I update a phone number field, automatically whatever the records associated with the account, like as I said, account is parent and contact is child, right? You can see the related list here. Within the related list, you can see the contact value, contact information. So if you want to update all the contact records phone number value. So in this case, through process builder also you can update, correct? but there is a limitation on process builder. How many fields you can add for the single node? Only 40 fields. If the requirement is more than 40 fields, you must depend on Apex only, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Wherever we are not able to implement this declarative, at that time, only the way to implement our business logic using the programming.
Yes. Yes.
It totally depending on the requirement.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
So, hello.
Yeah.
So, what is a strong type exactly?
Strongly typed, yeah. So strongly typed is nothing but like if I provide the direct variable and the direct value, it is not considered your Apex program. Like let's say, for example, here string is data type, first name is variable. So without having string value, without having data type, if I execute this line, let me show you. If I execute this line, see the variable does not exist. So we are getting the error. Variable does not exist, first name. At the same time, without having the variable part, if I go with the string only, if I execute, this time variable does not exist, string. So without having data type, without having the variable part, our Apex is not able to read the line. So that's the reason Salesforce is strongly typed.
Thank you.
Hi.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, then we'll move forward.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, as you open the Apex window,
It's anonymous.
that's an anonymous window.
Yeah, for
Right.
execution Apex part.
Yesterday we have done all this typing. I have seen.
Yeah.
So we want to save it or otherwise auto save.
No, it's auto saved functionality, but once we close this tab permanently, the data will be erased. Okay.
As yesterday you have closed all the functionality on all the tabs.
Yeah,
all the windows you have closed.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I just closed it, but when you open this anonymous window, so
yeah.
the first session is available up to closing all the tabs from your organization. Like let's say, for example, if you logged in the browser, whenever the browser is identifying your password, it automatically access to log into your account, right? The same in anonymous window also.
Then the last login will be on our window. Last login session.
The last login session. So it's available up to 30 days, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So we are discussing about the Apex data types, right? Yeah. There are two types of data types, guys. How many types? Two types. What are the two types?
Primitive.
Data types available. Salesforce. For the document, you will get to know. One is primitive. Another one is non-primitive. Non-primitive or S object. So S object is nothing but Salesforce object type. Yeah, as of now we are discussing only the primitive type. So like string, integer, boolean, date, datum, all these data types comes under the primitive type. So with the help of these data types, you can access the data. Like if you want to access text type values, we should go with the string is the data type. If you want to access number type values, we should go with the integer type. The same way, if you want to access date type data, we should go with the date data type. So it depends on the requirement. We are utilizing this primitive type data types, and the data type is attached with the variable part. So without having variable, without having data type, we are already seeing this functionality. we cannot execute any line because of Apex is strongly typed. Okay, so let me check with the integer type. Yeah. Anyone tell any best example? The age is the variable. So for integer type, the single quotes are mandatory or not?
No.
Not mandatory. Let me write debug log. Yeah. What are the values inside the single quote within the debug log? You can print the same values as easily, so without having any changes. But what are the value available in the variable? We should pass while printing the values with the help of variable name only. With the help of variable declaration, we can print the values. Okay, so as example is there, say Boolean type. What is mean Boolean? What types are comes under the Boolean?
True or false?
Yeah, exactly. True or false? Boolean, flag. Yeah, for Boolean type, we should have the single quotes. Okay, so Boolean example is the date example. Yeah, how you can add the date inside the Salesforce fields. Yeah, this is important, guys. If you are working with the date type data types, so there are some standard functions available within the Salesforce. So directly you cannot provide the date value like date today. Or let's say, for example, if I give the system date like in this format, what is this? 23/11/2021. Yeah, if I print this date value, is it acceptable or not? The Salesforce will read the date value or it throws some error.
It's a static value, sir.
It's a
Static value.
but these are also static values.
But it is Boolean, I think.
What's the date here?
Daytime we have a function at date dot now.
Date we have a function, date time also we have a function. But my question is, if I provide directly the date value in the date format, is it acceptable or not?
It may be, sir, but it's a static.
Maybe we can change the data type.
No, but I just want to access today's state from the system. So
Okay.
instead of accessing today's state from dynamic way, I would like to go with the static value. But the date is a data type. So if I go with the static value within the date type data types, so it doesn't accept because of for date functionality, we must write the functions, system functions only. Okay. We can't go with the static values using the date data type. Yeah, let me execute these values today. Yeah, from here, let me execute. Okay. Illegal assignment from string to Boolean in line number 19. So line number 19, there is a flag value. So it is showing the error string to Boolean. So if I put the single quotes here, it will read by default as a string value. But our data type is a Boolean type, right? So no need to require any single quotes.
Okay.
Let me execute again. Now the line number 22, illegal assignment from integer to date. So here we provided the integer type value. 2 is the number, right? First, it is reading the to value since it is a number type, but your data type is a date format. So automatically it throws the error, illegal assignment error. So if you put the single quote again, let me show you again. Before it is showing integer to date. Now it is showing string to date. Before it is integer to date. Now it is string to date because the format is string format. But how I can access the today's date from the system? There are standard functions available. System dot
Date. Today
today date system. Okay. If you go with the system dot today, automatically it will print the today's date information. Yeah, let me print the first name. Yeah, now our code block got executed. If I go with the debug log, here I can see the first name, last name is flag value and the date value. See here, it will receive the system date value. Coming to the time, it is showing the 000, right? But if I want to access the time as well, so there is a data type called date and time. So can I write the same function for the date and time?
Yes.
Date time. If it is as, how it will read the data? What I should change the debug log? The variable name. Yeah, let me execute this date and time. So this is executed. What do you think? Time will available or it is showing the empty value? So still it is empty value only. But I need to have the date and time value, but there is no time value here. But our data type is date and time. So this system that today function is not able to get the time along with the date information. So there is another function called system.now. If I use the system.now function, I'll receive the date along with the time. See, now it is printing the time value. So before, this is the log file. It is here, it is showing the 00s, but here you can see the time information.
Yeah, Mahesh.
Yeah.
In that result, they mentioned 2. It means the result number.
No. 2 is nothing but
Line number.
This one, right? This is the line number only. Your
Okay.
code line number 1 and 2.
Okay. How can we check the runtime in they assign the value or not?
Runtime, you can refer the log files only. See, in Salesforce, for every execution, it will generate a log file here. So simply you can refer this log file, but anyway, it will take some time, guys. Just uncheck this debug only. You can see the log file here. And here you can identify the information, like the variable information. So this is the variable. This is the value assigned with the variable from the system.now function.
But in real time, there are so many files exist. So how can we check particular that value?
Here within the operation part, you can get the exact information, like from which component your log file is generated. Okay, no need to worry in real time.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the way to work with the primitive type, guys. So again, I'm explaining you guys. So totally that depends on the requirement part. If you want to access text type or which includes text and number or any special characters, we must use the string type data type, correct? If it is a number type, we must go with the integer type. If it is true or false values, we should go with the Boolean type. If it is related to date and date and time, there are so many functions like system.today, system.now, but we should go with the data type as a date or a date and time. And the one more important data type, ID. So what is meant by ID? ID is called. With the help of ID variable, we can store the record IDs. Like for every record, here in URL you can see the record ID. For every record, there will be a unique ID. If you want to access the record IDs, with the help of the ID data type, you can access. Again, the ID will be stored within the single code. Let's say, for example, if I want to print this ID, I'm just hard coding here. And this is the record ID. Want to access the record IDs inside the programming, we must depend on the ID type data type. Okay, since it is a object level records, anyway, the primitive type ID can access all the record IDs within this record ID variable. So here, for example, I have mentioned the record ID, but in real time, you can use any name. Let me print this as well. Yeah, IDs also always should be in single quotes. Let me execute. Yeah, you will receive the same value because of we just hard coded the value. So let me copy this record ID and go to any tab. And from here, from the URL, if you want to test that test that ID, remove up to lightning, paste your record ID and enter. URL no longer exists. You have to enter the URL no longer exists. After clicking here.
You have in the ID, you have ID at the start.
Exactly.
I think you should take that out.
Yeah. ID, yes. No ID. Yeah, so previous our URL is not correct. That's the reason we are unable to navigate for this page. But now we are able to navigate that particular record ID page. In real time, most of the scenarios, if you want to access any record IDs, we should depend on the data type like ID. So with the help of IDs, we can access the record IDs. Like ID can store any object record IDs. So not only account, not only contact. So it can store any object IDs, which includes standard or custom.
Sir,
Yeah.
What is the length of ID?
It's a 16 digit, I guess. 16 only.
16 digit. And if you want to 4 to 5 digit?
It's not readable because of ID is the unique thing, right? For every record in Salesforce, any object, it will generate the unique ID, which is 16 digit format. Okay. Yeah, so these are the sample sample data types available in the Apex programming. So 99% of the use cases will utilize the string, Boolean, date, and then ID. So ID can store any type of record IDs, like whether it is a standard object or a custom object. So, but this is for single record ID syntax. If you want to access bulk records, there is a concept called collections. So while discussing about the collections concept, I'll show you how the ID variable can store n number of records. As of now, do you have any questions, guys?
Sir?
Yeah.
In the date field, suppose I need to assign the specific date value. For example, if I want to store a date of birth, how can I assign that one?
Date value, if you want to assign date of birth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many functions. If you want to call any particular date value, there are so many functions.
Here, in previous, when you show today some specific date you have
Yes,
given,
yes.
that is given the wrong, no? How we have to assign a specific date for the variable?
Yeah, that is simple process. Don't worry. I'll show you later. Okay.
Okay.
First, let me complete the data type format. Yeah, even if you Google it, you will get the answer. It's a simple thing. Like simple scenario. Yeah, I would like to assign one task based on your question. So as of now, we completed the configuration part, right? We have seen workflows, and within the workflow, there are so many time triggers, right? Yeah. Now the requirement is for every year within the contact object, let's create one date of birth field. Is there any date of birth field? Lightning gets blocked. Let me go to classic. Yeah, within the contact object record, is there any date of birth field? No. Okay, there is no date of birth field. Yeah, let me write a requirement.
Birth date is there.
23/11/2021. Come to schedule. Order. Contacts. So P4 1 day. Let's say, for example, if you have any date field available here, already birth date is the field. Yeah, let's say, for example, if I fix the birth date here, birth date is 2020 November 1st, December 1st. Yeah, if I save this record, let me add the email for this record. It is taking some time. Yeah, let me add the email. Where is the email? Yeah, work email or personal email. Now this contact record, Mahesh record, is having the birth date and the email address, personal email address. So with the help of these two fields information, I would like to send an email to the customer. Like, let's say, for example, Mahesh is the customer for this org. So from the org administrator end, so he should configure the birthday wishes to the customers. So not only for Mahesh, like if you have 1,000 contacts inside your contact object, the 1,000 contacts are having the birth rate along with the email address. So now the requirement is before 1 day, like before birth date, 12 and 1. So every December 1st, this particular contact ID should get the birthday wishes from the Salesforce org. Like from the, like, let's say, for example, this is the community outreach program application for the client Ashray Akruti. From the Ashray Akruti end, so every year the contacts, what are the contacts available, birth date along with the email. So they should receive the email like birthday wishes. So this is the sample requirement in real-time projects also. So any project, if you are working for sales or service or marketing, what are the cloud? So this is the basic functionality they implemented in their real-time projects for the customer communication. So try this requirement using the workflow rule and let me know if you are not able to fix the birthday wishes. So please let me know. I'll check tomorrow and I'll give you some inputs. Yeah, requirement is clear, guys. Not in same day. Before one day, we should schedule birthday wishes. Contacts. Got the point, guys? Let's say, for example, contact object having 2000 contacts. So in the 2000 contacts, 1000 contacts are having birth date along with the email. So now I have the data 1000 records. For these 1000 records, whenever the system date hits to the December 1st, it should not check with the year. Only it should check with the date and month. So if the date and month is was, automatically I should send an email alert using the workflow time dependent trigger. So I need to send that email to the recipient. So you can add the filter like within the birth date field, if the month and date is equals to the system date. So before one date in time trigger, you should write one day, before one day time trigger, you should send email alert. Before that, you can create one email alert for the birthday wishes and let's schedule. Yeah, got the task information, guys. Do you have any questions? So you should create email template. You should create workflow rule, and you should create time trigger, and you should schedule with the before one day. Like December 1st is the birth date, but I should receive November 30th only. That is the requirement. Let me share inside the chart. Okay, now let's switch to the development part. Yeah, so these are the primitive data type. Like within the primitive, is there any important decimal? Yes, sometimes we should write decimals as well. Yeah, so that the decimal data type can handle whatever the decimal values available in our fields, in our available fields. Like if we have the field available which is having the decimal values, so we must declare the data type called decimal. With the help of decimal only, we can access all the decimal values. If I write the integer, so if your age is 30.5, automatically the 0.5 value will be not able to read with the help of integer type. But if you write the decimal part, it will read the point values as well. So that is the use case of the decimal, like decimal salary. Yeah, the decimal type also is having single quote or not. Any idea or something?
No.
Yeah, no.
It should not be.
It should not. Right, debug log. Yeah, let me execute. Yeah, for decimal also we don't need to provide single quote. See, like that. So you can print the decimal values as well. Any important data type I forgot. Integer, boolean, date time, ID, decimal. Yeah, that's it. Almost I covered all the data types. Okay, the second part. What is the non-primitive type? What is the non-primitive types, guys?
Objects, collections.
That's all. Like here, I just collected the information through hard coding. But if I want to access the data, actual data from the object level, so in that case, we should depend on the non-primitive type data type. Non-primitive is nothing but a Salesforce object types. Yeah, how can I build the Salesforce S object type data types? Any idea? Like first, let me know the syntax. Data type. Variable is equal
New.
No, syntax. I'm asking about the syntax.
Okay.
This is the syntax, right? So for the primitive type, this is the data type, this is the variable, this is the value, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the same way for non-primitive type. What is the data type? Like I said,
Data type.
Data type. Like if I want to access account data, what is the data type? Account is the data type.
Okay.
Variable name. What is the variable name? You can give any variable name. Account records is equal. Right side values. How we can receive the values?
New.
I new.
Then account. Object name. Class name.
The object creation syntax. Just let me tell the syntaxes. Programmatically, if you want to create any object, this is the syntax. Okay, object name, variable name is equal new instance of that particular object. It ends with the semicolon. This brackets will store the new version of data. Okay, this is the syntax for the object creation. In our scenario, I want to access the data from the database. Here, the SQL queries comes to the picture. What is meant by SQL query?
Salesforce object query language.
Salesforce
object query language.
Yeah, what we can do with the Salesforce object query language?
We can fetch the data from the database.
Retrieve the data from database.
Exactly. So we can retrieve the data from the databases. So here, what is the database?
Account.
Contact. What is meant by contact?
Contact also.
Yeah,
object.
contact as database. What is meant by camp location?
Camp location also object.
Table.
It's a table.
Yeah. It's a table. These are the tables or tabs, we call it in Salesforce terminology. But while receiving the data from the data tables or database, we should depending on the SQL queries only. Okay, Salesforce object query language. So if you know about SQL queries, basically in any programming language, we used to write SQL queries, right, to retrieve the data. In the same manner, we used to write SQL queries inside the Salesforce. Yeah, here you can see the query editor tab, right? This is the query editor tab. If you write any SQL query or SQL query, SYSL query, Salesforce object search language, I will explain the SYSL queries later. But as of now, let me explain the SQL. So if you want to receive any data from the tables, we should depend on the SQL queries only. Like let's say, for example, in contact object, how many records are there? See, as of now, only five records are there, right? See, if I want to access these 5 records using the programming, so there I should write the SQL query, just like your SQL query. Select. No need to write star. Directly you can mention the field API name, ID, and name from. What is the object?
Account.
Account.
No,
Contact.
Yeah, we are working on the contact only. So this is the query. No need to add star. So the SQL query is purely implemented for Salesforce only. Okay. But the functionality part is same as per the SQL. So there are some very less changes in between the SQL and SOQL. So in time being, you will get to know like what the difference between SQL and SOQL. So there is a button called execute. If you click on this execute button, this query will execute in backend. Automatically, it will receive the information from the data table. See, this is the record ID. This is the record name. So you can compare with the UI as well. So Mahesh Shiva test create. So 5 records are there. Here the count is showing 5 only, right?
So the ID is automatically generated.
So the ID is unique ID. While creating a contact record, it is generating from backend. Salesforce will generate this ID.
Yeah. Okay.
For every record, there is a unique ID.
And
Yeah.
sir, if we have the in contact table, we have a generated ID field separate.
Yeah, if you want to collect only ID, just remove the from the query and execute, it will receive only ID values.
Yeah. No. If we have created already an inbuilt ID field in account object, contact object.
ID is the standard field. We are not creating the ID. It's a standard field
Standard
provided by the Salesforce.com.
Yeah, but Mahesh, we can change that ID name to contact ID.
Yeah, we can change the label.
Okay.
We can change the label name, but the value will be provided from the Salesforce end. We cannot change the ID value. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's come to the non-primitive type. Yeah. So as I show you, we should depend on the SQL queries. Now here we hard coded the ID, right? Let's say, for example, the same syntax. If I want to access the record ID from the account object, how I can receive it here? Data type is account here. Account ID is it? How do I collect the ID? This is the syntax.
Select ID.
Get that method.
Yeah, this is the query bracket we should mention. Within this query bracket, we should write the SQL query. Select
ID from contact account. Contact.
The object is account only.
Okay, account.
Account. So ending statement. What do you think? If I execute this line, we will receive the ID or it throws some error. Yeah, for testing perspective, system.debug is there. System.debug. Account ID. Let me copy. What do you think? It will give the output or it throws some error?
I think so, error.
Why? In the same
actually,
if I execute
we are using allocation new keyword.
I didn't get
more than one records.
Yeah,
actually, we creating the object, but we are not assigning the values.
No. Here we are not creating the object directly. We are calling the. We are calling from database.
Okay.
This is the syntax for object creation. In line number 39, I'm directly calling the record from the object. Okay.
Okay.
In this situation, no need to create object instance here. So first, let me execute. 100% it will throw some error. What is the error? Query exception. List has more than one row assignment to the S object. So this query, if we execute this query in query editor, how many records are coming? So what are the records?
Only one record.
No, not only one record. See, let me execute again. Sorry. These are the basics, guys. If you understand properly,
getting 5 or 6.
Right up easily. Let me execute, select ID from account. If I execute this query, total how many records are there? 12 records are there. If this query will execute it will receive 12 records. But in line number 13, there is a limitation called query exception. If I execute this line, we are hitting query exception. List has more than one row. So directly, without having the collection format, if you are trying to access the records, more than one record, so it doesn't accept because of there are some standard limitations are there. So there is a filter called limit. If I apply the limit is equal to only 1. So without having the collection type, your variable is able to store only one record. This is important thing, guys. Without using the collection type, your variable, data type variable, able to store only one record. Okay, just remember this point. So I just applied a filter limit is equal to 1. In this scenario, only this line number 39, it will receive only one record. If I execute it, see, now it will get executed. I can see the record ID in the debug log. See, this is the record ID. So if I apply the limitation, at that time only our line number 39 will be executed. If we don't have any limitation, it will throw the error, query exception error, because of without having the collection format. So it doesn't accept to access more than one record.
And sir, if I want to collect all ID?
Yeah, there is a concept called collections. In our tomorrow session, I will explain the collections concept. Then you will get to know. As of now, just remember the syntax and remember the format.
But my account, we can object, we can store multiple values.
Yes.
But why it's throwing error?
Yeah, as I said, if you want to access single record, directly you can create instance. This instance variable, like this variable can store only one record at a time.
Okay.
This is a standard limitation. Without using the collections concept, your variable cannot store multiple records. It's a standard limitation provided by the Salesforce.
Okay.
Okay.
But Mahesh, here is a account records dot equal to new account. So we can put that query in this place.
Here.
Yeah.
Why you should write query here? See, here we are creating a new instance. Okay, new space here. We are allocating the account object.
It's not a syntax.
It's not a correct syntax. Yeah, don't get confused, guys. First, let's do some research on the new variable, new keyword. So if you declare a new keyword in Salesforce, the new keyword means you are creating a new space for the account object. So in this variable, you can access all existed values. Like how many records are there? 12 records are there, right? So with the help of new keyword, if you create instance, if you want to insert any new record, so while passing your information inside the database, so the new keyword help you to store the account object again. So inside this bracket, your new data will be stored and the data will be passed into your database. After that, the record count will be increased automatically. Yeah, just wait for 2 more sessions, then you will get to know. Don't get confused now, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the non-primitive type, guys. Do you have any questions? Just instead of primitive type, either it is account object or a contact object, whatever it is. So we are writing the data type for particular object only. Account instead of account, we can write contact. Instead of ID, if I write name as well, with the same variable, I don't want to change variable. The variable name access any name. Our code is executed. From the debug log, you can see the name value along with the ID and name. Because of in our SQL query, I mentioned the name value as well. So whatever the fields we mentioned inside the SQL, it will receive the field information. So here also I just applied the limitation. That's the reason our code got executed. Yeah, that's it for today's session, guys. If you have any questions, we'll discuss. Otherwise, we'll wind up this.
Sir.
Yeah.
if in a camp location we have created a camp location project application, in that some part is created by the Lightning application, and if we create some part from the Apex part.
Understand what is meant by Lightning application? What is
Lightning application? What we have created in a by using a point click.
It is a user interface.
There is nothing some part or some other part in Classic. So our application is totally Lightning application.
No,
So
no, it's a. Sir, my question is what some part is we have created already in a Lightning application. Already we have created a community outreach program, COP program. In that we have created many objects and many fields.
Yes, yes.
And if you want to create more fields, and we have used the Apex part, like a developing code.
Oh,
then
see,
it's
wait. I got your question. So if you want to work on the data modeling part, we no need to write any Apex. Okay. Apex is only working with the existing data model functionality. Like let's say, for example, name field already created by the Salesforce Dynamo. So if you want to access name inside the Apex, you can access here. That's it. You cannot create any name field from the Apex part. You cannot create. Only you will utilize the field information working with the Apex part. Got it?
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll share this information inside the chat. And for tomorrow's task, let me check how many people will complete. Yeah, try to complete this task as it's a basic task. You can compare it a real-time task as well. Like here, I'm giving birthday wishes, but in real time, if it is a customer related things, like let's say, for example, if you are having the LIC policy, so for every year, for renewals, the LIC people will send email to the customers, correct? In that particular scenario, we should compare the same requirement. So every year we should send the LIC customers to renewal their policies. The same way, every birthday from the Salesforce end, we are sending one email. We can compare so many situations. It's a live requirement, guys. Try to complete it by tomorrow's session. Yeah. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow.